You remember that pumpkin puree that we made? I still have some. I put it in the refrigerator. So now we're gonna make some pumpkin scones because of course we have to make something yummy with our pumpkin. So we're gonna start off with 2.5 cups flour. I use organic unbleached white flour. 1, 2, and I'm going to just kind of eye it up in this cup for half. 1/4 cup brown sugar, tablespoon of baking powder, teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon ground cloves. Mix all the dry ingredients together. So now I cut the butter so that way it goes in easier. I'm gonna add the butter. And then we're gonna blend this butter in until the dough here is nice and crumbly. So I'm gonna start off with a fork, but I'll probably go to my hands because it's easier for me to do that. And yes, my hands are clean. I washed them several times. So always wash your hands while you're in the kitchen. You want a nice crumbly mixture. So now I have a nice crumbly mixture and I'm going to pause and I'm gonna go wash my hands again and then I'll be right back. My hands are now clean and the fork is back in the crumbly dough. Okay, we're gonna add the pumpkin, 3/4 cup, and then I have a 1/2 cup of milk that I'm also going to be adding just until a dough forms. So we're gonna mix this together just until a dough ball forms. Oh man, this smells good. Okay, so now I've got a nice little dough ball and I'm gonna get the flour out and we're gonna get our surface ready. So we have a lightly floured surface and we're going to simply take our dough ball, put it on the surface. I like to scrape my bowl. And we're gonna gently knead it, just kind of making sure it's combined nicely. It says to knead for like 10 to 12 times. I don't know how you count 10 to 12 times. Just knead it and get it to be a nice consistent dough ball. Add a little bit more because this is sticky. There we go. Okay. So now we're gonna create an 8-inch circle. So we're gonna create an 8-inch circle. And I have my handy dandy pastry knife here. So that's 6 inches. So I need to make it a little bit wider. And I'm gonna add a little bit of flour because it's starting to stick to my hand. That's my concern. It's gonna stick to the bottom too much. So let's get some flour under there. There we go. 8-inch circle. Yep, it's more like 9-inch. That's okay. We can do this a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly 8 inches. Just roll with it. And then we're gonna cut it in half. We're gonna cut it into quarters. And then each quarter, we're gonna put it into thirds. Now this got a little sticky, so I'm gonna just dust it up a little bit. Remember, these are pumpkin scones. Scones are traditionally triangular with a round outer edge. Now I have my pastry sheet ready to go over here. So I'm just gonna lift these and put them onto my pastry sheet. No certain order needs to happen. They just need to be put onto the pastry sheet or cookie sheet, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to bake them at 425 for 14 to 16 minutes. And let's see, I like making this a little sun, kind of fun. There we go, we'll put the one in the middle, make it look like a clock because we're having some fun. No, nothing can be done without some fun. So we're gonna bake this at 425 for 14 to 16 minutes and then we'll pull them out. So while those scones are cooking in the oven, we're gonna get our vanilla glaze made. So I've got a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. I'm gonna put it in my sifter and we are going to sift it. Now this is very lumpy powdered sugar, so I have to sift it no matter what. Oh, I easily make messes. This is very, very lumpy powdered sugar. If you just have a sifter and a spoon, it will work just as well as getting something fancy like this. Look how pretty these are. They got big and fluffy, and we're gonna let them cool a little bit, and then we're gonna make an icing for on top of them. So these have cooled slightly, and they'll continue to cool. I have my 1/2 cup powdered sugar ready to go. We're gonna do some spiced rum vanilla. You only need a 1/2 teaspoon, so this will be very noticeable on these. And then I'm going to use 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. I'm gonna start with 1, see where it's at. Because these are still warm, it's gonna drizzle quite well. So we're just gonna mix those ingredients. At this point, it's only 1 tablespoon of milk. And I prefer a creamy icing. You could use water if you wanted more of a clear icing. I like my creamy, milky icings. Yeah, I don't need any more milk, so I'm gonna move this out of my way. And then once again, we're gonna drizzle our icing over top. And you're supposed to serve these warm, so don't be afraid to serve them and eat them right away. And there you go, pumpkin scones, all for you to eat and enjoy during this holiday season. This is Kelly signing off from Yellowknife Homestead. I think we're gonna have to try a bite. Good, as my grandson would say.